You guys, good morning and welcome to the channel. Just so you know, I posted the demo video before this particular one. In case you haven't watched it and you're interested in the demo video, just go watch the last video in my channel, the very one I posted before this particular one, because we're diving right into the coding in this video. And guys, please give this video a thumbs up and also comment and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, because that's basically the only motivation I need to keep sourcing out interesting coding videos for you guys to subscribe. Okay. Okay, let's dive right in. Okay, let's create a folder on our desktop. Just right click here, point to new. I believe we all know how to create folder, and then give it a name. Let's give it calculator tutorial, or better still. Okay, this should do. Right click and open with code. Let's create a file. Click on this new file here and type styles.css. So we'll use this CSS file for the styles. And then create the last file, which is our script file. We're just going to call it script.js for the JavaScript code. Then the next thing we're going to do is to create our boilerplate, we're going to hold down the shift key and at the same time click on the exclamation mark, which is the number 1 on my keyboard. Now this is a boilerplate for our. So let's quickly run through this boilerplate, what that means. Doc type HTML here. Let me just give space so you understand what I'm talking about. So the doc type HTML here declares the document type as HTML5. This tag here, which is HTML, starts the HTML document, while the lang attributes equal to en sets the language of the document to English. So the head part here contains metadata and references to external resources. The method char set equal to UTF-8 here defines the character encoding for the document, ensuring that special characters are displayed correctly. So this in here now sets the responsive design. This line of code here, this meta tag, it sets the responsive design, ensuring the project works well on different screen sizes, especially on mobile. This one here, which is a title tag, sets the title that appears on the browser's tab. In our own case, let's use calculator as our title. Calculator app. Calculator app is going to appear in our own browser's tab. And then this is the body of the HTML. Let's try to open this in our browser. Copy parts. I'm just going to zoom this. No, this is too big. I think this is okay. Is it? Yeah, it is okay. Right click and paste here. Now this is the calculator, the title we gave to our calculator app. In here, let's have a div with a class of calculator to wrap our calculator layout. Click on enter. This div here is going to wrap our calculator layout. Then in here, we have an input field with a type of text. We don't need this. And we'll give it an ID of results. This ID here is going to be used in our JavaScript parts. We're going to use this ID in our JavaScript, and also we can also use it in CSS if we want to style just this input field. And then we'll give it an attribute of read only. This input field is where all the calculation will be doing. This calculator is going to display. And this read only attribute is used to ensure that users cannot directly type into the input field. So if they want to type, they have to use the button. I think that's all for the inputs. And the next thing, we're going to have a container that is going to wrap all the buttons. So let's have a div, another div with a class of btn wrap or btn-container. You can use any one you want. Enter. So this div here is going to wrap all the buttons. So in here, let's have a button btn with a class of clear. We're going to use this clear to style this particular button in our CSS file. And then we'll give it an onClick attribute. And in here, we're going to pass the clear screen function. We've not written any code for this function yet. We're going to write this function later in our JavaScript. So once we click on this button, it's going to call this clear screen function to perform a particular function, which we're going to write in our JavaScript page later on. And then here, we just give it or C. Let's refresh the browser to see what we're doing. Okay, this is what it's looking like now because we've not done any styling. So I'm just going to copy and paste all those things. I'm just going to copy this button into different places because we need about 17 of it. So this is one already. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So just change things because the class for a second button is delete. And then the function for the second button is delete slash function. And then here becomes del, which is del. This is what you're going to see in the button. I'm just going to hold down the Alt key and click on all this function because all the function here is display, excluding the calculate function, which is the equal to. I'm just going to hold down this Alt key and then click on each of them in order to be fast about it. I'll click everything and then change the calculate function later on. So we're going to change the clear screen to display. Yes. Everything is changed to display function, excluding the equal sign, which is the sixth one counting from down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here is going to be calculate function, not display. The classes for operators are the same and the classes for number are the same. The only class that is different here is the calculate. So I'm just going to do the same thing here before I'll start imputing the numbers here. The class for this particular button, which takes in the calculate function, is equal. Class for numbers are numbers. Class for operators are operators. So I'll like to separate them in order not to get confused. Not like using the break tag, but just to separate them here. I'm going to start imputing all the numbers. The operator here is divide. Here becomes division sign. Here also division sign. Here becomes multiplication sign, which is asterisk. Asterisk also. Here becomes 7. Here becomes 8. Here becomes minus sign. Here becomes 9. Here becomes 4. And here becomes plus addition sign. Whichever way you want to arrange it, it's fine. As long as the calculator is working well, as long as all the functions are working well, we are good. This is how I choose to arrange mine. 5. Here becomes 6. Here becomes equal to. That's equal sign. We're not going to impute anything here because it's just a function, a calculate function. So we're going to write the logic later in our JavaScript page. We're only imputing things in the display, just the display. Here is 1. Here 2, here dots, here 3, and here is 0. So that's pretty much all we need in this HTML file. So let's preview and see what we have. So this is it. You're seeing it like this because we've not styled it yet. So once we style it, everything will look really nice. So we're just done with the structure. So CSS page is where we're going to paint it. Okay, so let's paint it. So there was a mistake here in this HTML part. The only button here that is supposed to have a class of clear is the clear screen button. So the others, the ones with operator, are supposed to have a class of operator, and the ones with numbers are supposed to have a class of numbers. So I'm just gonna write that right now. Click here, hold down the Alt key if you're using Windows, and then get all the ones that are operators. Let's correct the operators first. I think there should be 4. And then give them a class of operator. Okay, and we're just going to do the same thing to the ones that has numbers. The class to the numbers buttons is supposed to be numbers. So starting from here, click here, hold down the Alt key, and then click. Give them a class of numbers at once. Okay, I think that's all for here. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe to stay tuned for the CSS and JavaScript part of the code.